Okay. Hello, it's me, Wingish Nube. Jackie Quay. And here I am. I'm Big Miss. Here I am. Christianna, Chris Car, Star. All this beautiful divine being right here. And welcome to you beautiful divine beings. Right here too. Yeah, just came back from dropping my girl off at school. Actually, I just kind of get down to the corner and watch her go. She's a lot faster than me, you know. Even on my scooter. Did I say welcome you beautiful divine beings right here? I'm so glad you're here. How goes it? Yeah, I put myself out there a little bit there yesterday. Get this off. Hey, try and cover it up. Needs to be cleaning. I'm just gonna bling this out. Right. I told my oldest son, he was got this for my Mother's Day one year for self-care. Told my eldest son, because he was just getting up to that age where he can go to clubs and stuff like this. I said, Mom's going to show up at the clubs. It's going to be all blinged out, lighting up. I'm not going to go there. That'd be so fun, eh? I think so. I don't think he really went down with the idea. Although there was a time he would have been fine, right? It was cool. Close, man. My little Andy Bear and me. Little Andy Bob Chuck Clark. Excuse me, my dog is barking, so I'm going to let her in. I'm still over her. Not far. There we go, closing all my doors. Here I am. Again. A rough week, but you know, hey, what can you do? Yeah, totally lost that train of thought I was talking about. My son, yeah, my firstborn son. That's when the grieving starts coming up, right? Like there was townhouses we lived at before he had moved out. There's some people had toilet papered my big red Az. I had an Aztec. It was red, and I always liked calling it my big red Az. Oh, you should see how much I can get my big red Az. Az. Right. Weirdo. So. Yeah, so before I'd moved out of these townhouses that I was in here, first place living in Peterborough, which is going on like 12 years. I've only been in Peterborough. It's going to be 12 years soon. Middle of this month, I think it was October 15th, we moved into Peterborough in 2008. Wow. So, yeah, it was TP'd. And my eldest is quiet, you know. Man, a few words. And, you know, pretty chill, relaxed, doesn't get really upset. Not like his mama that way. I guess his father, too. Somebody once described his father as the breaks of the world. Everybody that knew him, oh, they know. You've had the weight on him. And he's got this innocence about him that you can't be mad at him. Like, ugh, that was frustrating. It's alright, you know. All I ever called him was Big Dummy. Still love him very much and appreciate. Beautiful being we help to co-create or whatever, bring into this world that he kind of made himself. It was amazing. But yeah, there was that toilet paper over in my car, and I heard the story from a friend of mine that told me this, and the two guys that did it were standing there like deers caught in the headlights. Nobody had ever seen my boy like that. I guess he'd had a couple drinks that night. I let them drink at my place. I know where they're safe and stuff, and, well, they're wild parties. I got one call from my eldest boy, right? It was 11:30 at night. That was my late night, gotta go pick up my kid all drunk, right? Initiation with his football, whatever. And that was 11:30. And then when they partied it up, they were all passed out by 11:30. Like, they barely made it. Like, wow. Like, lightweights, these kids these days, see? Anyways. So he goes out. I can't remember what time. Anyways, but I know I had my big red Az at that time. He goes out and there's toilet paper all over it. My friend told me that he was so upset. Like, he, you know, like, my little brother Kenneth, he stopped swearing when he was 16, so it's kind of unusual. This kid, he doesn't. And when it slips, woo, right? So my firstborn wasn't big on the cursing. At least he kept it away from me. I mean, even when his buddies, big football buddies downstairs, they'd hear like they drop an F-bomb or something, I'd hear him shout up, "Sorry!" Right? It was so cool. There was so cool because there was respect in my home. With my older boy, it didn't get passed down, but you know, little bits, differences. So he's ripping that off, swearing about, don't they know what this, if my mom had to come out and do this, and you know, this would have really hurt her, blah blah blah. I think of that. And then what's happened now, and I haven't seen that boy since December 4th, 2017. The last time I saw his beautiful face, gave him a big mama bear hug. It's the thing with these abusive situations, some people can get in there. Even when relationships are close, right? And, you know, because I didn't want to turn them against that. You know, your relationship with, you know, that's yours. That's not up to me, you know. Not into turning people against other people. I don't speak bad about other people, no matter how much they've hurt me or I perceived that they hurt me or whatever, because that's what I got to see. Is this just triggering something in me, right? You take this personally? No. I don't take it personally. Even though there has been some personal attacks on me. I know everybody's going through their own things and on their own journeys. Breaking their own cycles, you know. Some of us, we've got similar cycles. I mean, we're all responsible to help change the cycles on this earth, right? Be the change you want to see in the world. Maybe not what you want to see, but what needs to be. But who's to say, right? Everybody would say it needs something different because we're seeing it from our own perceptions, right? Only thing constant is change. For me, that's always been comforting, you know? Right? And I like to have my routines. I'm very routine and habitual and ritual, but I get comfort in change, because especially if something is hard, you know, then it's for now, not forever, right? I'm going through this for now, it's not forever. It's going to be hard for now, but not forever, right? Because it always seems so hard, but you know, you don't give up just before you reach that finish line or whatever that is, right? Right. So I keep going, slow and steady. Fall on my face. Get kicked down on my face. I get back up again. I get kicked when I'm down, and I get back up again. Always get back up again. Right? It's spirit lifting me up, because you got staring in your face that even, you know, those closest connections in your life, the ones you thought nothing could ever. Nothing is permanent. Everything changes, right? And then when we get attached to what it would look like, right? Getting attached to a future. Like, I tried not to visualize what I wanted him to be, whatever, except for happy, healthy human being, right? That contributes to the world and doesn't just keep taking. Doesn't take advantage of others, but knows how to put down boundaries so that knows how not to get taken advantage by others. That's the struggling. That's the therapy. And you know what? No matter, that's my firstborn child. I know. He's an adult now. He's married. You know, it wasn't my journey. I mean, I wanted to be there, help him move out to his first place, because I was there for... Excuse. No, I'm not sorry for crying. This is... Well, who wouldn't, right? This is your firstborn child. Had a crisis come up in the family. I'm trying to call him and talk to him, but he won't call and talk back to me. And then I see later, well, yeah, right. Phone records, all the calls to him. Right? Right. Lies spread faster than the truth, right? The lies can go all around the globe while the truth is still putting on its shoe. I didn't share out, for lots of people know, aversion. But nobody's really come. And I was surprised to see. And that's why we need to begin within, because if we place too much high expectations on our other relationships that aren't, we're all human beings here too, right? Tap into that source first, right? Go with that for your guidance. So other people can't carry our shit. Other people can't carry our loads, right? So we all have baggage to bring in relationships. Why? Why are you bringing baggage into relationships? Why don't you take care of that baggage and not carry it along with you in your relationships? Why are you carrying that baggage anyway? What purpose is it serving you? How is it helping you get ahead in your life, right? So many ways out there, so many, right? But that's fine. You can find somebody else that feels the same way about relationships, and then your relationship's perfect, right? Right. Sometimes we're projecting on too, right? Right. So, it's okay. I got things too, and sometimes we can get carried away. We want something, we feel, and then we project that onto somebody else, right? And we've got this whole relationship in our mind with that person, but that person's not on that same page. So is it that person's fault because they're not on that same page of your fantasy and what you've made up in your mind, right? You've given meaning to everything that they do, And I think we all do that sometimes if we're watching, whether we're self-esteem. I heard that, and that really, low self-esteem is also a form of vanity, because you're always concerned about what people are thinking about you, right? It's all self-centered. So that's what me started thinking about that low self-esteem, going, do I really have low self-esteem, right? Because I don't really care what people think about me. I did go through those times, yeah. Whenever I walked out of a room, I'm listening, but that was to keep me safe, right? That's what I need to do. Well, and right, maybe it was my intuition, spirit trying to warn me, who's stabbing me in the back when I walk out of that room, right? Who's the ones I gotta put boundaries on, right? Not that it get in a fight, but to say, we don't let this one close anymore. No. Sorry. Be acquaintance. We'll see you. I'll say hi. Always got heart hugs, a heart hug strangers. So everybody needs a hug. I think I shared that with it last year before. I witnessed an accident right at one of these corners. It was just this big truck went right over the front of the car, and I didn't know what I was in a state of shock too. I just went over the lady. Do you need a hug? And it's just what she needed, and she thanked me. They were from out of town. It's a friendly, loving weirdo I am, right? That's the thing. No matter how much I hurt, I love like I've never been hurt. I'm finding it a little more scary these days. But I'm trying to keep loving the way I love anyways, because that's me. That's truly who I am and who I always have been. You know? And everybody to see they're not alone, that we're all on these journeys and we don't deserve any kind of abuse. There is no excuse, okay? Only ones that got maybe excuses is kids. They're learning from the other ones, right? As we get to be adults, there's no excuse. Even if we went through abuse, right? We know how that feels. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Why would you want to put that on somebody else when you already know how that feels? Because you don't feel better putting that on somebody else, and you got more. It's like, you know, those who drink to drown their sorrows should learn that sorrows can swim. Whatever, if it's alcohol, shopping, whatever kind of addiction that is. Because then not only, right, you get that temporary fix, but hey, when you come down, the problems are still there. Now maybe you got a hangover, or, right, you tapped yourself out in the bank account because you did all that shopping, so then you've got even more. So then we just keep adding on, and then you feel bad, and then, oh, we go drink some more. And look at how those cycles, we keep getting into those cycles, and we get spiraling down. It's time for us to spiral up, right? Find healthier ways to deal with those emotions. We can't drink away our problems. We can't shop away our problems. Nothing. We can only feel away our problems, right? Right. Okay, gotta go. I'll do some cards though. Let's do some quickie. I'm a quickie girl. Yeah. Okay. So left and right and overall energies. Did you see my song I put out there? I know I messed up on the words the first time. You tried and I cried. No, you lied and I cried. Love it. Singing it to my son this morning. He's like laughing. But yeah. It doesn't sound like it sounds in my head or the way I would sing it at the other place. Because, I impressed myself. I gave myself chills. With the deep emotion I felt in it. And it was coming through. But it's all in my mind. I don't know. That's why I wanted to record it to see. But then as soon as I hit record, I get all nervous. Like, right? I mean, I started doing this years ago just to record myself to get used to putting my voice out there. As soon as I hit record, even when it was just for me, got nervous. I'm like, what? I'm not gonna let anybody else watch it. But then I know I do. I got nothing to hide. I let my freak flag fly. That's the problem. Is it? Is it a problem? Yeah. If it is, well, you don't have to watch me. You don't have to hang around me. Eh? That's up to you. You have a problem with that? Right. It's the grace, the beauty, it's the magic of sneaky little magical and graceful sneakily help you see the beautiful being that you be. Right? Are you feeling like an ugly duckling? Well, you know what? Go find your swans. Right? If we're not fitting, if we don't feel like we fit in here, right? A little bit of magic, then look the other way, right? Because we keep looking. Okay. But we don't look like this. We don't look like that. We're not. Because we're not a swan. Or we are a swan. We're not a duck. That's why we're an ugly duckling. Because we're not a duck. But we're probably a beautiful swanling. Right? Yeah, it's just whatever comes out of me. I'm a free-flowing being. Let it all flow through me. All that love, all that light. Like, I gotta watch these back because I remember what I say. But there is some, like, whoa, where'd that come from? Or something else will come in. I'm like, why didn't I say that? Because, hey, it's because I'm sitting there getting my own messages from it then. Because this is for everyone, right? And I sit back and get my own. Because I can't do this twice like I did before. Look at that. Record keeper into your sacred space, right? There's the morning star. Beautiful. There's my daddy coming into there. We gotta respect our sacred space and take care of our records. Love you, Daddy. I'm just doing this a little quickly. Although I've already gone over. Just doing my little reading quick.
I grabbed a couple of pairs.
Oh, nice. Thank you, Daddy. Yeah. My boy, my loving Liam, right? He had sprouted up, right? And he lost some weight when we first moved in here, so he had smaller pants. But now he did the sprouting up. Now he's filling out a little bit more. They put a little more on, right? In this house where they don't get to eat, right? It must be because of all that they eat every other weekend, right? And that one meal they get on Thursdays. Right? If they didn't have that, oh my goodness. Excuse me. We're going to focus. Calling back all of our energies to me and to thee. Whatever will be, will be. Now let's see. We call back all of our energies from the east, the path of illumination, the place of clarity, the place of man, the place of fire. And we call back all of our energies from the south. It's the innocence, the waters, the place of emotions, the child. And we call back all of our energies from the west, the physical, the woman, the earth. Right? Yeah. Place of introspection. And then all of our energies from the north we call back to us. That's the wisdom years, or elder years, the mental. Okay. And we walk the red road, right? Oh, where we can see there's so many viewpoints, so many options. What are we going to be when we grow up? We start talking, everybody has their opinions, and they tell us their viewpoints, and oh my goodness, they look at us through their own lenses. And then we get up to the north where we find out who we are, and we give away everything that we're not, all they said that we were, and find out who we truly are. Right? And then east to west is the blue road of spirit, where we count the victory. We came into this life with a victory. We got to celebrate all those mini victories that we've gotten through, because you know what? You survived 100% of everything you've been through up till now. Truth, look at that. Look at that track record. That's perfect track record. There you go. Survived. Hey, east to west, the blue road of spirit. Introspection, the hawk, the messengers, right? So we tap into our side and get those messengers. And as we tap into those little victories a little more, right? A little message from those. Hey, what about the losses? There's little messages in those too. What is that for you? Bring it out of you. Above, below, and within. Okay. So we always got to think before we act. Sometimes we need to take an action before, right? And then reflect on that. So let's do this way this time. Let's go left and then right. We're going to think about the actions that we can take. We're going to act. Sometimes we need to act, right? We were talking about that. You got to take that leap. And just believe. Leap of faith that ledge is going to be there. That next step is going to come up when you need it, right? So action, the male energy today is nurturing and coral. My goodness, I put them in separate things, but the last time we did this was on the female side. So now it's actually taking the action. So maybe you reflected on the kinds of things in the self-care that you'd like to do and like to try. Today is the day to do that. That therapy Thursdays, right? That self-therapy, taking care of yourself. It's doing that. And maybe it's going into that dreamland. Maybe you can do like a trance dance or something. Maybe it's a meditation. Because even when you're just sitting there, there is actions going on, right? And that's nurturing. What are you dreaming into being, right? Because that's the story of Lizard. Lizard was on his little rock, and Snake came up and asked to share the rock, and Lizard said, well, sure. And the Snake said, what? I could have eaten you. And the Lizard said, well, I already dreamed that you had lunch, right? But Lizard could have easily dreamed a hungry snake and been eaten up by that. So look at what we're dreaming into reality. So nurture ourselves, nurturing those dreams that we have. Just want to sing my songs out loud and dream away. I think I'm off there. That's a mic'd song. That's a good one, right? And I love that one too. I find that very motivational, uplifting. That works for me. What works for you, right? To making your dreams come true. I'll tell you one thing that'll work for all of us is to get out of our own way and actually believe it can happen, right? If we keep talking ourselves out of it, that's one way to make our dreams come true, right? Just believing it. Just believing it. If you believe it, you can achieve it, right? You have to take the actions, though. It's not just going to go, boop, there it is. Though sometimes it seems like that. When you take those steps and you're just focused, right? That next step, you have that bigger picture. It's here. But you're just focusing on those next steps. All of a sudden, whoa, you're there. We're looking at our kids. We watch them and where did that kid go? Because now I'm hurting my neck looking at you. So some things seem to like happen like that. But really, look at anything in your life right now. Take an action of that. Reflect on that. I'm not telling you what to do. If you like to, it's an idea, a suggestion, right? And see how you've come, right? You survived everything so far. How did that come through? How'd you get out of your own way? See the action steps that you take. It didn't just magically appear. There's always something that brings it here. So, and then our right, we're reflecting on that. We're reflecting. Reflecting on this one. Right there. Okay. Reflecting on the innocence and the inner child. We need to go inside. So that's that action. What's that inner child wanting to be? What did I say, right? What were you dreaming being when you grow up? So that reflection part, that receiving, is giving to that little child in there, nurturing that inner child, that innocence in us, right? And setting down those boundaries. Because maybe we didn't have boundaries, right? And that's why we got abused and whatever. Hey, because maybe we were taught we weren't allowed to have boundaries. We're here to please everybody else. We're not allowed to have our own feelings and stuff like that because, you know what, we're less than human in some way. Maybe. But as that innocence and as that child, we do, right? Because what choices can we make on our own when we are guided by the adults in our lives, right? So we can't, we put down those boundaries with those adults, right? If they're our parents and stuff. So it's reflecting on that and nurturing that child because it's still not that child's fault because, you know, now we're putting down those boundaries. And are we putting down boundaries that are opening us up? Because again, on that other hand of it, we can get such strong boundaries that we don't let anybody in again. We protect that inner child so much, right? That we isolate that child. And we abuse that child ourselves or neglect that child. I did it myself. Went through a trauma thing. We did a family sculpting, and my little was sitting on that pillow, and that was all my memories. I put my little in charge of hanging on to all those horrible memories. That's not for a child to do, even our littles. So at times to feel it and let it go through, let it come out of you, right? You are that innocent child. You did nothing wrong. You don't deserve any kind of abuse. Nobody. Again, right? There is no excuse for abuse. None. Okay? And let's stop passing it down to our children. See how we're doing that, and that the boundary has to stop there. This stops with me. These cycles stop with me. I'm going to recognize them, and then I'm going to stop them, because I can't stop what I don't recognize. I can't stop what I don't see. Right? So for what I don't see, hey. Okay. And then the overall to look at today, whatever day you look at this, to bring these medicines together, to reflect on what we're learning here in this messy world right now. The allies and support. We be that to ourselves, that boundaries, right? Because we can even put boundaries down to our allies and support, people who are there to help us. Sometimes we need to put down boundaries even with people that want to help us. Because maybe they're trying to do it for us, right? Maybe they're uncomfortable with hearing our feelings and they're trying to stop those. So we need to look at that. The allies and support that let us be ourselves. Let us feel however we're feeling at that time, right? Don't impose on those boundaries. They respect our boundaries. That's how we know when they're really allies and they are supporting us. We need to do that with ourselves first and recognize that, right? So sacred spirals, because we get up there. As we get up, it's a different perspective. So maybe we're not repeating. We're seeing the cycle again because now we've got a higher vision, a higher wisdom with it. We've learned. So now it's time to practice those new skills, right? And we keep spiraling until we know what that real support is, because as we're reflecting back and look in, see those allies and support that we had, that were actually helped us to feel more empowered in ourselves and made us feel that we had the right to put down boundaries, right? That we are human beings too. So look in that for you. Who's your allies and support? Be your biggest one. Source is always there. That's always our biggest one. That's one that never leaves us. Right? Right. Doesn't. We disconnect from source. We separate ourselves from source. Source does not. But it's impossible, actually, right? Because source energy animates this physical body. So if we separate from it, well, the body's right? And we go back. So be that number one support for yourself, and look at those spirals, and these are sacred spirals. We're doing that dance. We're doing that dance. We're dancing out the shame. We're dancing out the blame. We're dancing until we feel sane. Whatever that is for you. So there you are, beautiful beings. Biggest heart hugs. Thank you for being you and shining your light through in everything you do, and for being this change this world needs. Oh, you can do it just by being you. Putting down your boundaries, respecting others' boundaries. We all need to take care of this sacred space within. It starts within. Begins within you. So put it all out there, my friends. Love you. Thank you. There we go.